So to get started, before I go into detail about territory management and optimization, I'd like to maybe just discuss internally what we would call the 5 Ps. And 5 Ps are the 5 problems, or the problems that our customers face, what we hear, the constant problems. And they are, 5 Ps are people, placement, productivity, performance, and planning, or planning. I'll just briefly go through each P. So if you look at people, for example, do I have enough salespeople to cover my network? An example for placement would be, are my, out of the salespeople that I have, are they in the best locations? Productivity, such on productivity, could be, for example, how do my salespeople increase their sales calls? Performance be, how can my team visit the highest value accounts? And planning will be, it does help you come up with your territory planning, helps with planning for the future, plan for staff change, etc. So what's your starting point for territory management? That's something that we have to maybe look at first. Some of our clients come completely new to territory management, where they don't have any boundaries created at all. Alternatively, some of our clients may have old school paper territory maps, still, stuck up on their office wall, where, someone's job would have a whiteboard marker and draw the boundaries of the salespeople's territories by hand, using, the marker. And usually you go by highways or counties. So, or, that's some of our clients are still operating in that mode. And then some of our clients would have very advanced territory management definitions. So regardless of your current definition, regardless, creating your current definition will show you maybe where your gaps are, where your overlaps are, or maybe where you have no coverage at the minute. So we can see out of the 31 territories here on the map that we have no territories, west of Indiana. We can see, if we look at Kentucky 1 and Kentucky 2, there seems to be a county here that's not assigned to anybody. And then, everywhere else looks pretty good, but we can also identify where the gaps are in our network. So we have to understand where we're coming from, where is our starting point, and then we can certainly advance from there. So territory management, just to keep on territory management, to start maybe really simple here. Territories can be created by counties, states, or zip codes if we're focusing in on the US. The original purpose of territory management was to show the clear demarcation lines of a sales team. So, for example, if I'm the salesperson in the Northwest region, I know this is my area of operation, this is my coverage area. Any of the accounts or prospects or leads or jobs in this region belong to me. So that organization structure was your why sales territory management was first utilized in businesses. However, over the years, territory management has become a lot more advanced. So, for example, you will be able to overlay your sales data to understand which territories are under and overperforming. So we look, for example, on the right-hand side of your screen here, you can see the balancing legend. So we can see our territory names, which is good, but we can also see the percentage breakdown. And in terms of this breakdown, it's actually by revenue. So we can see which territories are under and overperforming by this individual metric. So you get that nice percentage breakdown of, what's doing well and maybe what needs a little bit more support. Territories can either be created manually, so you can carve out territories by hand, or they can be automatically created from an existing spreadsheet that you would have. So from here, territories can be manually realigned. So, for example, if I wanted to split north, east, east in half, I could easily do that, and I can see what impact of each adjustment would have. So you will be able to manually create territories or create territories from a file. After they're created, you can move territories manually. That's what we call manual optimization, and you can see what impact each movement or each territory realignment would have. So yeah, the purpose of territory alignments, or the purpose of realigning territories, is to ensure that all territories become equally balanced, to make sure that we can see that some territories are performing quite well, and then some maybe need a little bit of help. So that's the purpose why territories are reshifted or realigned. And that can either be done manually, as we said, by just manually dragging territories in, or stealing territories or zip codes in it and moving them into different territories, or it can be done automatically. And that's what we call automatic optimization. So I would describe manual optimization as like riding a bicycle. It can get you to the right place, but actually I heard this last week from a client, it can be painful and slow to do so. So nothing wrong with going on a bicycle. It can get you to your your end goal, your end destination, but it may be a little bit slower in contrast when you're looking at automatic optimization, which is like driving a car. Let's say a Ferrari. It can get you them optimized equal territories in a matter of seconds or minutes. So we can see from the graph here that the territories are unbalanced. So this is the average across your territories, in this case in terms of revenue. So we can see one territory here is performing quite well. Two territories here are holding their own, and there's one that maybe needs a little bit of help. So we know that work has to be done here to make them more equal and optimized. Manually realigning your territories to make them more balanced can be very time consuming. And we hear, for example, of another client of, this is a horror story, I would, in my opinion, but every quarter, each territory manager would meet up for a week-long boardroom meeting. So in a boardroom for a week to realign everyone's territories. In my opinion, nobody should spend a week per quarter manually carving out and realigning territories. So now let's focus on automatic optimization. And I'll, again, getting some, I'll describe this from using a pie cutting analogy. And the pie cutting analogy actually came from a client. I thought it was a very good way to describe automatic optimization. So we can see in the left-hand pie that some of the slices are way too big and some are maybe a little bit small. So we can see this is maybe a small slice, and this one here is, this slice is too big. So there's wasted sales potential going on here. We can see the smaller territories or smaller slice may not have enough accounts, whereas the larger territories, the bigger slice, has too much accounts to visit on. So the small slice, not enough accounts here, so this salesperson is going hungry, where the big slice can't eat all of the pie because it's too big. So some of this pie is going to waste, and that waste is sales potential. So when your territories are imbalanced, like this left-hand pie, you're missing out on potential, and leaving revenue on the table. Whereas the right-hand pie shows 8 equal slices that were created using automatic optimization. So in a matter of minutes, unequal territories can be transformed to equal optimized territories. I'll just give you another example. I play amateur soccer. And let's say in this case there's 8. Well, there's a lot more than 8 of us, but let's say there's eight of us here playing at soccer practice, and we won our practice game. And at the end of the game, we're all given all of the slices from the left-hand pie. I can tell you for a fact that my goalkeeper would be very angry if he was giving a small slice, if I was given a big one. So, if everyone was given a slice on the right-hand side, everyone would be happy, and there's an equal playing field. And this is what automatic optimization looks like. So we can see the graph down here on the bottom left of your screen. It's completely different to the graph that we looked at in a previous slide. So everything is optimized along that average line. We also see there's 10 territories here in the top right, and looking at the balancing legend. All of these 10 territories are as close to 10% as possible. So we can see that these territories that were created from using automatic optimization are optimized and equally balanced. Another clear advantage of automatic optimization is, for example, if you're going from 4 sales territories to 6 sales territories. So if you filter down just to show 4 sales territories, neighboring territories, and the decision is made, okay, we want to add 2 new salespeople to these regions. What's the best way to do it? How can we do it but add in, where's the best place to add in these two new territories, but maintaining that all the other territories are still optimized. So as you can see on the screen, you can just enter in your criteria of adding 6 territories. You can see the optimization takes place itself automatically. And if we go to the next slide, we can see that 2 new territories have been added, territory 5 and 6. But we can see that all territories are still just under 17%. So we have still maintained equal and optimized territories when you're increasing or decreasing staff size, staff territories. I always say automatic optimization is a recommendation tool. So manual tweaks can occur after territories have been created. Something we see all the time. That's no problem at all. So in this case, it's effectively what if analysis is taking place. We can see on the left-hand viewport, that shows what the territories currently look like. And then on the right-hand viewport, we can see Pennsylvania 2 has been extended out or made a little bit bigger here. So after manually optimizing or automatically optimizing your territories, you can see, and if you do a tweak after, you can see what impact that would have. And we get a nice tabular report down here as well, of what the revenue was before, and after making a manual tweak again, what the territories now look like. In this case, is in terms of revenue. But we can always do manual tweaks after the fact, and we can see what impact that would have. Perfect. So now that we've learned about how we can optimize territories, we can look at ways how we can boost and grow sales within your sales regions. The simplest way, in my opinion, would be to overlay your account base or your customer base. You can color code your accounts based on metrics in your data. So right now I'm color coding my accounts. In this case, it's based on revenue. So all of the red accounts are my high value accounts, and the yellow accounts will be my lower or less value accounts. So this does not only help in showing you the geographic spread of your accounts within your sales regions, but it also highlights where your most valuable accounts are. So therefore, because of overlaying your account, you can profile and filter or profile and target which are your highest value accounts. So we can put a filter to say, I only want to see my accounts on the map that are over, let's say 15K. And we can just have that view there, and we know these are your highest value accounts. And going back to the 5 Ps, this helps with the performance P. Perfect. So as a result of filtering out to see your highest value accounts, and again, this is best practice for your sales teams. They want to be visiting or face to face with their highest value accounts. This helps them get out of their persistent sales cycle that they're on. So we hear all the time of salespeople visiting the same people each week, and they're not really exceeding or pushing on with their sales goals. So we have highlighted the highest valuable accounts in a territory. So you can now use a routing tool to provide the turn-by-turn directions to each of these high value accounts on a route. This will help your salesperson reduce their fuel costs and save them time in the field. Great example I always use, if a meeting was to cancel, your salesperson can see what other accounts or leads are in the general area for him or her to target. So this will help and boost the number of sales calls per day, per week, and per month of your sales team. I hear all the time of, if a meeting was to cancel, the salesperson would, just go to the nearest Starbucks, do some admin, check emails, and just get prepared for the next call. But for me, you'd really want to be looking at face-to-face, looking at what other prospects or leads are in the general area for your salesperson to target. And again, going back to the 5 Ps, this is the productivity P. So how can we be more productive? Now, I'll just focus on a little bit of heat mapping. So we all know understanding your market is very key to boosting sales. So density heat mapping can be used to highlight your hotspot or cluster areas of where you're doing business. So we can see here that Philly and New York and the Bronx, these are hotspot areas or cluster areas of where you have your account base and where your business is coming from. But best practice, in my opinion, and more importantly, this map also shows you where your white spaces are. So we can see down here in Hanover, we have very little customer presence. We can also see down here in Little Egg Harbor that we have no customers either. So it shows you where your white spaces are, where you have no let's say opportunity or business as of yet. So this is a fantastic way and best practice for marketing teams to target market these areas to generate more prospects and leads for your sales team to hunt within their respective territories. Again, keeping on with heat mapping, this is a regional heat map, and how this differs, it's just a heat map based on a region. In this case, sales territories. So we're doing a heat map based off revenue. So we can see that the green territories are performing quite well, and the red territories maybe need a little bit more support. So this is great for end of quarter, end of month, end of week presentations by management. You can even compare, revenue or your metrics over time. So we can look at maybe 2019 data or last quarter's data, and we can see the patterns and trends of which areas are improving and maybe which areas need a little bit more help. It's great with resource allocation. So we can see New York 2, West Virginia 1 need a little bit more support to get up to the rest of the level there. So it's a great high level overview of your entire network, and it shows you which areas are doing well. Also maybe highlight some other, could help maybe some other decisions. So we can see New York 2 here. It's not really performing well when compared to other neighboring territories. So maybe it could be better off if New York 2 joined Connecticut 1, or even if Connecticut 1 joined with Rhode Island 1, and we just made one larger territory. So it does help with joining territories and merging territories if that is an option for you. Perfect. So the results are clear. A 2 to 7% increase in revenue is possible from optimizing your territories. No territories will either be too big or too small for one salesperson to operate in and to work in. Automatically optimizing your regions will save you time, weeks of realignments or alignment time. Equal territories will improve staff morale, and also will help increase the number of sales calls possible. Perfect. So that's it from me. I'm just going to hand you back over to Rachel and help answer any questions that anyone may have.
So hi all. A few questions came in through chat. So just to get started, a few questions about recordings. I answered in chat, but just to confirm. So tomorrow, everyone that was in attendance here and that signed up for this webinar will receive a recording of this. Should you wish to see it again, or if you want to go back over anything we mentioned. Within this email, we will also be including some further information regarding our territory optimization feature. So should you wish to make any further inquiries. Another question is, can I trial territory optimization before purchasing? We are happy to provide a free trial of our territory optimization feature. You can request a trial of our territory optimization feature by emailing myself at ordunphy@eSpatial.com or Liam at lcostello@eSpatial.com. We have our email addresses there on screen if you would like to jot them down. Just see any other questions. So one question is, can you automatically balance off other metrics that are not revenue related? Yes. So your balances don't just have to be based on revenue in your territories. You can also balance your territories off any column that is numerical or integer format, such as the number of accounts, how many leads or prospects you have in each territory. Even if you're, say, in a medical setting, the number of hospital beds in each territory. Then can I save territory versions and share them with my team? Yes, you can create multiple versions of territories, and you can collaborate with your team when creating territories. Within eSpatial, you can share territories with a teammate who can make suggested changes, and you can then review the changes made by your teammate and decide whether to accept or reject them. And another question, can I optimize my territories around my rep locations? So yes, Using the Territory Optimizer, we provide the option to create your optimized territories based on territory centres, such as your office or your rep locations. Just one or two. So as mentioned, you will receive a recording of this full webinar. So if anyone missed out on anything to the start, that will be sent to you, so you'll get to see anything there. Fortunately, that's all the time we have at the moment for questions. As mentioned, the follow-up email will be received tomorrow with the recording and any additional information relating to our optimization feature. You can, of course, contact us using emails on your screen if you have any further questions. Finally, I would just like to thank everyone for attending our webinar on transforming outside sales effectiveness with territory management and optimization. I hope you all have a good afternoon and evening, depending on where you are at the moment. So thank you.